Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for the last 4 or 5 minutes of this video. I have successfully planted all the fields before running out of either fertilizer or seed, so we're going to trade this in. Not going to buy anything yet. We're going to wait till after the rain. Sorry, a reference to Nelson. Whatever happened to them? I think it was the twin sons of Ricky Nelson. Was it? I can't remember. The one guy's name was Gunner, which of course is, totally, what is that, like Finnish or definitely Scandinavian. In I can't remember the other one. It was Gunner and something Nelson. But they had like a one of those like poser bands. Everybody would make. They were like Winger in if you guys remember the horrible TV show Beavis and Butthead. They were always making fun of Winger and. Winger, dude. All right, so anyway, like the neighbor kid that was the geek always wore the Winger shirt. Let's take a look here and see what we have as far as sewing machines. I lied. I'm going to buy. It's actually cheaper than the Tempo, but we're going to end up spending a little bit of money because the Tempo was used. So our Tempo was 61. We got 52 back for it. The one I'm looking for is this guy. Planter R12. Planter 3 R12. It's a little bit skinnier, I think, than what we were using. This is 3.5. This is 6. Yeah, it's a little skinnier, but that's okay. Having to not back that thing up makes this one a lot easier to use, so we're going to buy this. And actually, it only cost us $1,000 over the top. The other cool thing that we can do is we can also add the TF 1500. Which will allow us to carry extra seed for any of the seeders that we buy. I am going to look into our full-on this guy along with the cultivator / plow pack. We're going to keep the other cultivator because it's larger and will work better for this setup. But we're not going to use this today. I probably could have saved on it, but the bottom line is we're going to need it eventually anyway. So. You can see this is about the right size for this tractor. It's funny, it looks like it would spread out much wider than the other one, but it's actually less. So we'll go ahead and park this back at the farm, and then we'll call it an end to this episode. So the very next episode, we are going to begin our hunt for the gold nuggets. Our goals, a larger tractor, the wheat setup kit, and also the header for the harvester. I may buy a silage harvester because eventually if we get cows, it's also easier to mow with. Right now we have the simple mowing setup, but I think I might trade that stuff in and move to a silage harvester for our grass collection. And then we can just feed the sheep using a wagon. That just makes it a lot easier. What, Seth?
6 o'clock.
All right, sir. I know. Seth, we're going to the Middles tonight. I'm taking Seth to his thing at church. I don't really want to go because I'm tired, but I'm going to take him because he really wants to go, and I'm not going to discourage that. So, okay. So, I'm going to put this fella right here. Awesome. Boop. Pardon me. Whoa. Blech. He's my Superman. He's my little soup. You know that he's a super friend. Soupy. It's crazy how fast you can spend your money. Alright, so we have that stuff in place. We're going to wash the tractor, put it away. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for being a part of my channel. I'm going to pop in a little ending here that we're going to do for a little while so people know where the Twitch and Facebook page are, so I don't need to say goodbye yet. But anyway, let's wash this thing off and put it away for the night, and then we'll have our little ending. Yeehaw. Dudes. Squish the chickens. that does it, folks. Before we take off, I'm going to make a decision. I am going to just keep the collecting wagon and the mower. I think it's silly to buy all that extra equipment. You know, I don't really need a silage harvester. I think that pretty much is going to... I mean, maybe later on when we get into the cows, we'll buy one. But I'm thinking probably more needed for the farm. We definitely need... I'd like to get the 7 series. I'm sorry, the 8 series or series 9. Ooh, 9, okay. Big tractor. And we're probably going to upgrade it. We'll do the wheel weights, and then I'm going to be doing the largest motor I can get, which puts us at 336 horsepower. That should be plenty for anything that we need to do on these smaller fields. So that'll put us, you know, that's going to take a good third of our $1 million right there. And then we also need some other items. I'd like to get the shop. We're going to need a small tipper for feeding the sheep the grass that we collect, because we'll store it in the barn. One of these, like the Farm Tech would probably be fine, or yeah, because it's larger. I'd rather do the Farm Tech. And then we also are going to do. We also need a. For the time being, we're going to need a sprayer, and the wheat setup, which won't be too expensive. So, you know, we're going to take a look at some of those different things, but we have pretty much everything we need except for those few items. We will need a header. I don't have a corn header, so we're going to need to buy that for our New Holland, and maybe we'll get a, I probably should get I would like to do sunflower seeds too, and I might just buy the sunflower header. What the heck? This thing's huge. It's a big header. Works with the 590. Anyway, so that is my plan for what we're going to buy, and then the rest of the money is going to go into a sheep investment, hopefully leaving maybe like $30,000 or $40,000 left over in our account, so we have some operating income. We will also need a Lely Juno so that we can keep the sheep pen clean, because with all those sheep, it's going to get messy fast. All right, folks, so have a great night, and here is my little clip.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Fasten your seatbelts. We are about to depart on a gold hunt.
How's everybody doing tonight? All right, it is gold hunt episode night. We're going to do I think I probably will buy some sort of vehicle to get around in quickly, to make this a little bit faster, easier, whatever. I don't know where all 10 nugs are. We need to find 10 nugs first. And that will start the gold hunt. I just found one. They're all over the place on the farm. We should be able to find at least 8 or 9 here, and then we'll need to find one elsewhere. But there's nugs everywhere. How's everybody doing? It was a good night. I went to church. I took Seth, as we were talking about in the earlier episode, to his middles. I love you too, John. And I'm very glad, because I was able to have some time there to study for my... I didn't think about it that way, but I'm like, hey, you know what? I could study for my test. So I took my... I love you, John. I took my equipment... I took my iPad with me, and I studied for the drone test, and was able to pass the third section of 14 sections, or 13 sections. I think it has 13 sections. So I'm slowly making my way to my license. Now, I did fail a couple. They're really hard questions. Like, here's an example of one that I just got today. You call your weather service to find out what the weather's going to be, and they tell you that there's going to be a low inversion with moisture in the air. What can you expect? And I'm like, I don't know. Well, the answer is fog. And of course, what is a low inversion? So anyway, are you laughing at me, Mater? 3.
No, I'm laughing that I just killed an enemy.
Oh, you killed an enemy? With a weapon? Sorry, I'll try to stop saying weapons and enemies. But anyway, so there are some frustrating, like, trick questions, and some things that I got wrong. One thing I got wrong for sure was if you have warm air coming in off the ocean and it hits the land, it'll cause fog. Well, I picked the wrong scenario for the fog to form. I picked warm air. Wait, what did I pick? I picked cold air going out and touching the ocean, which is warm, and that would cause fog. And they said that was incorrect, so I was incorrect there. Once again, these are not final tests. These are tests that I'm taking as I'm studying for the quiz or the big test that I'll take. They're just little quizzes as part of the website that I'm working on. So it's difficult, though. I mean, it really is a challenge. Oh, John, Mater, mate. Some of these gold pieces are hard to find. I'm pretty sure there'll be one up by the shop. We found 4, I think.
I got a blame, Dad.
Hey, buddy.
Dad, did you notice I got a blame?
You got a Bwain? If I only had a Bwain. There's no gold in the Shrine of Blessing. I see a gold piece. Hey, there's a nugget of gold in your backyard. Hi. Hey, John, can you get me a couple pieces of bacon? Could you run downstairs and say, Daddy needs some bacon? John? Come on, kid. Throw me some bacon. Come on, John. Get me some bacon. Get your old man a bacon nugget. Come on, John. He's going to do it. Go get me some bacon. The kids are screaming downstairs, so... Yes, for all of you that have not been watching... Oh, 3 pieces. There we go. Ding. There's our 10. So now all the nuggets show up on the map, and we can swiftly collect them. Maybe. I don't even know where I am on the map. There's so many nuggets around here. So for those of you who have been asking, and I once in a while I have to say this because there's a lot of people that have been away from the channel for a while, but then are coming back, like they were playing 15 and now they're starting to watch the 17 videos. Yes, I am divorced. Unfortunately, and I maybe should come clean with the whole story now. I don't know, I don't like airing dirty laundry, but I think at the same time, we have an hour to kill, and maybe we should tell some of the story. At least my version of the story. I mean, everybody's got their own opinion of what happened, but I think that most of my friends, my family, my ex-wife's family agree with my version. My ex-wife was never happy. From day one of our marriage, she was complaining about how I wasn't the right person for her and how we shouldn't... I mean, literally on our honeymoon. Like, I don't know, maybe this wasn't the right thing to do. Maybe you're just not good enough. Maybe we're not, whatever. It was always a situation of her not accepting our marriage and being like, well, maybe you weren't the right one. This is a Greek philosophy, this soulmate thing that we have nowadays, that everybody is like, oh, soulmate. That you are a half soul until you meet your perfect mate. And that is not reality. Reality is you are a whole soul. You're an individual. You're a person. And there's not somebody out there that's going to make you whole. You're already whole. And so, but that's the philosophy she's buying into. And so anyway, our entire marriage, it was this continual feeling of, at least on my part, hold on one second. Oh, they're out of bacon. Dang it. Anyway, so that was going on, and I tried very hard to make this person happy. And I've talked a little bit about this on some other episodes, but I think it needs to be said every once in a while so people know. Like I said, I've had a lot of people come back and go, wait a minute, I thought you were... Yeah, I was. There was just what would you call it? Like swimming upstream, you know what I mean? Like I was trying to swim against the current in my marriage my entire life. So, oh yeah. Oftentimes when I would try to do things, like to make her happy or to do what she wanted, it would be met with, well, you didn't do this right, or you didn't do this right, or, I mean, it was a constant, how do I say it? I mean, you were always made to feel like you weren't good enough. I always felt like I wasn't good enough. And no matter what I did or how I did it, it was not accepted. And my children will testify to this. My older kids that kind of watched this happen, because when it was all over, I had to ask them, especially Mark and Ryan, the 17 and 19-year-old, I'm like, guys, is it me, or did I try to do these things and she always rejected them? And they're all like, no, dude, like we watched you try to make her happy, and she just summarily rejected you. We watched it happen. My son Mark, the oldest one, it took him almost 7 months before he would talk to her again after we got divorced or after we got separated. Because he was like, how can you do this to Dad? Like, he tried so hard, and you're always whining about how hard your life is, but Dad tried his best to make it easy for you. I mean, honestly, my ex-wife this is stuff I didn't really tell anybody, but she would sleep in till noon or like 1 o'clock every day. Every day. And I mean, it's fine. I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, if that's what you want to do, I mean, go ahead if it makes you happy, and you're as long as she was getting the chores done that she needed to do, and she was keeping the kids up to date with their schooling, and did a good job. Mark and Ryan have done really well. But it's just, I never said anything. I let her do it. I'm like, okay, if you want to sleep in, so she would sleep in, wake up, do whatever she did, and then go back to bed. And so it was like she was just asleep all the time. And I'm like, okay, whatever, that's fine, and I didn't complain, and I just let her do it. And maybe I shouldn't have, and that's probably part of the problem is I didn't do what I was supposed to do as a husband, and just kind of be like, listen, we need to set ground rules here. Like, if we're going to be functional, we need to function, and that means getting out of bed at a decent hour in the morning and getting stuff done. And so that went on, and so then after like 6 or 7 years, we had Mark and Ryan. The first two, there it is. That's the piece I was looking for. And then it turned into, she started partying. Okay, so back history. My ex-wife was, I don't want to say she was, I guess a hippie would be the best way I could describe it. If we put in the substance abuse that she did as a teenager, this piece must be up on the roof, maybe. It was, marijuana. She was a pot smoker. She did acid. She did any kind of like ecstasy, like medium light drugs to medium drugs, like designer drugs and stuff like that. She was doing as a teenager, 15 to 17. She was also obviously an alcoholic. Cigarettes, just an all around substance abuser, and so. I being innocent and growing up, I was an only child. I grew up in the church. She said she was a Christian. I was like, oh, cool, this is great. I know that you have a past, but we can work this out, right? Like the Bible says that God makes you a new creation. I believe in you. I believe that you can do this. And hey, great, okay. And so we got married, and it went downhill from there. So after 6 or 7 years, she started to party again. She started smoking pot. She started going out and drinking. She started disappearing for days on end. So come to find out, during that 7 to like maybe 9 years of our marriage, she'd had several affairs. It kind of all came into a culmination of a ride home and her admitting, like, I've been very unfaithful to you. And so I was like, I kind of didn't know what to do, but once again, we're young. I'm like, well, I mean, what do you want to do? Because, she's like, will you forgive me? And if you will forgive me, I would like to work it out. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? Say no? Like, I guess I really hate that all this happened, but what am I going to do? We've got 2 kids, So she cleaned up. It took her a while. It took her about a year to clean up, but she stopped having affairs. She stopped, the alcoholism. She stopped smoking pot. She stopped doing the drugs. And so after about a year or so, we were doing okay. And maybe 2 or 3 years in, she's like, I'd like to have more kids. And I was a little leery, but I'm like, all right. I mean, I think we're doing good now. It's been a couple years, and it seems like everything's going well. And so we continued down that path and had 4 more wonderful kids. I've got, Seth was the first, and then Evelyn and Violet and Mater. And things were going pretty good, but we had some financial issues. And once again, even during this time, and I want to make it clear, during all of this time of our marriage, man, that's got to be up top, maybe. I'm not. She was still always unhappy. Just always complaining, always like, you didn't do this good enough. You didn't clean that good enough. This is not done well enough. This, it was just, there it is. It was behind the door.
No, you guys finally got divorced.
And so John said, and then you guys finally got divorced. I mean, the kids all know this. They've been, hello, been very honest with them, and she hasn't been so honest about some of the things, of course, because you want to. But it's just it's the reality of the situation that I want my kids to learn from this. So, she never still was happy. And then of course I started my own company, which was like the worst idea ever. And I'm very glad, and I love what I do. But at what cost? So we had a lot of financial difficulties. Things were pretty strained. But I felt like we always had a rapport. Like we always went out to eat together. We always spent time together. We'd go on jobs together, and but it was stressful because we didn't have money. So it was like we were always struggling. And you guys know. I mean, you've been with me through. Those of you that have been with the channel a long time, we've always struggled with finances, and so this was no different here. We still were struggling with finances, and it was frustrating for her, and definitely put a lot of stress on her. And she handles things very differently than I do. Like when I'm stressed out, like right now, I'm late on my car payment. I'm late on my Visa. I'm late on my Discover. I'm late on all my payments. Right now, today, I have no money. But I have $12,000 billed out. At some point, someone's going to pay, and I'll get my bills paid. I'll get caught up. I mean, it's not great for my credit, but it'll get paid. And I know in my heart that that's going to happen. I've got the bills. It's a customer that I work with all the time. They always pay. It just takes them a long time sometimes. Well, Kat would be freaking out, like just in a complete panic, swearing, angry, just mad, and not able to handle the stress of that situation. And she would start getting these like massive migraine headaches. So her friend, God forgive me because I haven't forgiven this person yet completely, and it's something that I really have to try to hold my temper against. Her friend was like, you know what? They say that if you have migraine headaches and you smoke a little pot, it'll fix the problem. And I'm thinking, so she started smoking pot again, and I'm like, she didn't tell me. She just started doing it. No, I don't want that. Go ahead and give it to somebody downstairs because I'll get it later, hon. I'm not hungry right now. And so she started smoking pot again, and I'm like, oh no. And she's, when it first started, she's like, no, I'm just having like one a day. And it worked. It actually helped her with her headaches. Those of you that don't know, and this is a horrible thing, I'm not condoning it, but you can get THC, by the way, without smoking it. You can ingest it and not get high, but have the same benefits that it gives you. You don't have to smoke it, but it's illegal in Ohio. You have to go to Colorado to do it. But anyway, she started smoking pot, and I'm like, oh, great. And I just know her behavior, and I was like, Kat, I don't think this is a good idea. I think you need to continue working with she was going to the doctors, and I think you need to continue going to the doctor and letting him know that these are the problems that you're having, and so she was like, no, I'm good. Everything's fine. It's all under control. Well, then she started smoking it twice a day. Then she started smoking it like all day long. She was upstairs in the bathroom smoking pot like every 15 minutes, and I'm just like, and it wasn't helping. I mean, she's still screaming at everybody. She was worse than ever as far as her temper went. She was screaming at everybody, constantly unhappy, constantly everybody's always against her, and you know what pot does. I mean, it's not it makes the wrong people act the wrong way. Then she started drinking again, and I'm like, this is not going well. And just really separating herself from the family. She started to go off for a day or two here and there to her friend's house. She was helping this friend that she's smoking pot with. She's helping her remodel her basement. So that's when the behavior of disappearing started. She started going away for 2 days at a time, 3 days at a time, 4 days at a time. And I'm like, Kat, what about your kids? Like, these are your children. You need to be here. Whatever. I know you can't. Whatever your issues are your issues. But I said, you have children. You need to care for your kids. And she just was like, nah, it's all good. And so then she started disappearing and going to other, she got in a big fight with Tracy on vacation. This is her best friend. And she disappeared for, she got in a big fight, and so she came home and was just started finding new friends because they're like, it wasn't working with Tracy anymore. And she disappeared. Hang on one second, folks. I got to edit that. Okay, I can't say the person's name, and I said it, so I needed to make an edit there. I don't want to say who it was that she was doing it with, but And I said the person's name, and I can't because actually I think her kids sometimes watch these videos. So anyway, they had a big falling out, and so we had this, situation where now she's looking for other friends so she can go smoke pot with them. And so she just started going around to all these different people's houses and disappearing to their houses for days on end. And I told her, we had a big blowout. We were coming home from Mark's graduation in the Air Force. We were coming home from Texas, and Mark had done something, and I don't even know what it was. It was something stupid. Like he wanted to spend one day with his girlfriend without the kids and stuff. He's like, look, I'd like to have, I've been in basic, I'd like to have one day off and just spend time with just me and my girlfriend. And my wife went ballistic. I mean, she just lost it and was, just totally not understanding of that situation. And in the meantime, I flew to Chicago to shoot a wedding. Like I drove them down. I stayed for a day and visited, and then on the day that I was gone is when this happened. I had to fly to Chicago to shoot a wedding. I shot the wedding and flew back and came back to this complete disaster. And so we spent the last day with Mark and then drove home, and she just exploded in the car. Like it was like crazy time, and then wouldn't talk for the entire trip home. And we got home from Texas at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and she got in the car and left and was gone for 5 days straight. And so I called her out on it, and I said, you know what, Kat? I said, I don't know what's going on in your life, but if you're thinking of having an affair or having an affair, I can't do this again. It's been too many times in the past, and you need to leave. Like, if this is what's going to happen, and she got real bitter about it and was kind of like, man, I can't believe you'd think that of me and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, really? You've been gone for 5 days straight, and you think that I'm not wondering what's going on? And so, anyway, from there it kind of went downhill. We started going to a marriage counselor. He worked on me for quite a bit, and it was great. And I thought we were doing better, and we were taking notes together and still, going out every week to eat and going to the counseling session and working on things. And she was still like, well, I think maybe we could do this and blah, blah, blah. And so at least I thought we were working on it. But then she went away to Hawaii for a month. Hang on one second, folks. So anyway, where were we? We were in November, me telling her not. Oh, so we went to the counseling session, and then she went to her friend, was like, hey, why don't you come to Hawaii, an older friend, and, stay, she'd always wanted to go to Hawaii, and so her friend was like, you can come stay with me. So she's like, okay, I'm going to leave for Hawaii, and she left me for a month and went to Hawaii. Well, while she was gone, I had the flu 3 times. You guys will remember, it's all on YouTube. I mean, it all happened on YouTube. And I was sick and had the flu 3 times. I also had to go to Florida twice during that time and work in Michigan. So I was, my mom was helping watch the kids. Mark and Ryan were helping watch the kids. And there it is. I had to travel. So we went to, I did all that. She came back, and the house was a bit of a mess. It wasn't horrible, but it was messy. We did some major cleaning, but it wasn't perfect. It's like it is now. It's not perfect. And she came home. We went out to dinner. We got home from the airport, and she went upstairs and started nitpicking every little thing. Well, this is dusty, and this room's a mess. And, I mean, like, just, it was crazy. Like, oh, there's a little bit of syrup here on the countertop. That shouldn't be there. And just, like, every little thing. And I was like, you have to stop this. Like, this is not cool. And she just kept going. So I blew up, and I left. And I went away for a couple hours. I went to, I got some wings and a root beer and cooled my jets, and then came back home. And so that was the end of that. But we went to the marriage counselor, the following week, and he was like, he started turning his guns on her. Because she was like, she took pictures of the mess and was like, took it to him. And he's like, well, I've only got 2 kids and my rooms are messier than that. I don't see what the problem is. All right, John. And so she said, you're so funny. He has a friend on the game. And so I said, and so he turned his guns on her during that session. And he was like, we've been working on Arthur for the last 2 months. And he's agreed to do all these things to try to make you happy. Are you willing to accept that? And she was like, no. And he's like, well, I mean, if you're not willing to work, I don't understand why we're even doing this if, like, you're not willing to make any kind of changes. Because if he's making changes, you got to make changes too. And she's like, no, I'm fine. I'm perfect. You know, I'm good the way that I am. And he's like, no, you're not. And, you know, we need to talk about you're this and you're that. And let's start working on this. No, I'm not doing it. And he was like, well, I don't see any point in continuing because you both have to work on this or it's not going to work. And so, you know, that was it. That was the last time we went to counseling. And, you know, we continued just to kind of to live our lives. And I think this was, I want to say, oh, there it is. I want to say probably mid-February. And it got to the point where she was gone all the time and the same stuff, still doing the drugs, not really communicating with me. But, you know, once in a while she would hang out, but we just weren't, it was pretty much, she was doing her thing. And I'm like, well, you know, and I finally came to a point, and this is kind of an odd story. I was part of a men's Bible study group, still am. And the Bible study got canceled, and I was pretty depressed because I'm like, this is like the one good thing in my life aside from my kids, and I'm sad that it got canceled. So I didn't have anywhere to go, and so I'm at home and I'm just feeling depressed. And I was like, God, I can't live like this anymore. Please either make her stay or make her go. I can't do this anymore. And so, watch what you pray for, right? So the next morning I woke up and I had to drop Mark's car off at the shop and get a ride from Kat home. She had come home that morning from wherever she was off doing her thing. And so I took the car to the shop, and she came and picked me up, and we were driving home. And she's like, oh, I met somebody. And I'm like... And so parental discretion is advised for this next portion. If you're a young child, I probably shouldn't be listening to this because it's pretty personal. And I said to her, so just be warned, here it comes, skip about a minute and then you'll be fine. She said in the car, she said, oh, I met somebody. And I said, did you meet somebody, or are you, you know, boop, somebody? And she basically didn't answer. And I'm like, okay, so what's the truth of what's really happening here? Like how long has this been going on? And like, seriously, you need to tell me what's really going on. She just wouldn't come clean. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to assume that this is what's happening. And she was like, okay. And so I basically told her, like, you need to get your stuff and you need to get out. And so I think it was about a month later, right, Mark? Maybe about a month?
Oh, yeah. Maybe a little more.
Maybe a little more, like a month and a half. I told her basically, because she's like, well, I can't just leave. I need to find somewhere to live. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. Like, I understand that, but it's not going to be long. Like, you can't be seeing this person and living in my house. It's not fair. You can't do that. And she's like, and she agreed. She was like, no, I understand. Like, I get it. And I'm like, okay, good. So, like, start looking. And she was like, well, I kind of need till August. And at first I was like, I mean, I guess, you know, like, I guess I can manage. But, you know, then we got into, like, you know, June. And I'm like, listen. And I explained to her, I'm like, this is really unfair. Like, I am here watching the kids while you're off riding around on your boyfriend's motorcycle. I mean, this is not, I'm going to end up, you know, this is just not a safe situation for you health-wise, because I'm thinking about some strangling and it sounds real good to me. I'm like, you need to get yourself out of this house and away from this situation, because this is not fair and this is not good. And you're making me crazy. I'm just telling you that. And so she thought about it. I mean, she's like, yeah, I can see that. I'm sorry I made you feel that way. And I'm like, okay, whatever. If you were really sorry, you wouldn't be doing what you were doing. But so she moved out in June, and we basically have parted ways since then. And what, John?
I said I love you. These
Hang on.
guys are way stronger than me.
Those guys are way stronger. Then maybe you should go to a different planet. Maybe that planet's too hard. He's playing.
No, you have to fix your step first.
All right.
It's a mystery.
So I basically,
Pretty hard.
I don't know. I mean, she was out by the middle of June, and we just started proceeding towards divorce, because she's still seeing this guy. You know, it's February now, so at least it's a long-term relationship. But I think, and none of us are sure, but we all think he's married still because she gets nasty texts from his wife all the time. And so anyway, it's cordial at this point. We talk to each other. The only thing I don't like, and like I said, she'll lie about it. She'll be like, "Oh no, I met Brian in November," and I'm like, "No, you didn't. You told me about him in April, and you were sleeping with him in February. Like there were pictures of her with him on the web in February." So I'm like, don't lie to the kids and tell them that you're not doing this. If you're gonna do what you're gonna do, at least fess up to it. Don't be a dirtbag. Don't lie to your kids about stuff. And so, sometimes she tells them the truth, but most of the time she's dishonest about it. But it's just, we were officially divorced on November 30th. And, I can't say I'm happy about it. I definitely, life has been more peaceful since then, but it sucks. I mean, anybody that's been through it knows. It's like the person you love died and got replaced by an evil twin. I don't know how to explain it other than that, unless you're the reason that you got divorced and you're the one that cheated and stuff. It's like, I don't, how do I say this? I guess the evil twin thing is the best thing that I can describe it as. It's like, look, I loved you, and what happened to that person? That person's gone. Like, I don't know. It's still really hard for me to understand it all. I don't think I ever will completely understand what happened. I don't think you can. I think it's where's this gold piece? I can't find it. Is it in a bucket or something? Like what? Is it in one of these pots? Oh yeah, it is. Look there. Okay. So anyway, that is what happened for those of you that don't know. And once in a while, I'm sure some of you have heard the story already. I don't know that I've gone into like super detail like that before on the channel. I kind of really wanted to wait till it was all over and things settled so that I had my head on straight, because it's like I don't want to make stuff up, and it's my side of the story. I'm sure she would tell you how horrible her life was and how oppressed she was. But the funny thing is, it's like she called me today and her landlord is screwing her over, and the neighbor that she has downstairs, and she's probably going to lose her apartment because they're out to get her. Like they basically are trying to get, the guy that she was supposed to get the garage for her car, and it's like a 2-bedroom, and it was like all these, pot smoking handshakes with these guys, like, oh yeah, haha, we'll smoke pot together and be friends, and of course that never works out. That goes sour after a couple years, so even a shorter time than that in this case. And so the guy is a money grubbing, jerk, and she called me today on the phone and was crying, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what do you want me to do about it? Like you've put yourself in this position. I feel sorry for you, but at the same time, this is what you wanted. You wanted to go away from your husband's protection. You wanted to step out on your own. You wanted to live life the way that you wanted to live life. And I'm sorry that there's consequences. But anyway, these guys, she was supposed to have a parking spot and in the garage, and then the guy that moved in downstairs after she moved in was like, well, we like to work on cars together. Him and the landlord want to work on cars together. And she's like, well, I'm supposed to have that space, but I guess, we could work something out. He's like, well, I'll tell you what. He's like, I'll give you $50 a month to use that space. She's like, okay. So the landlord finds out about it, and he's getting all ticked off, like, because she's making money. He's like, well, that should be my money because I'm the one that owns the property, and you shouldn't be making money off of my property. And I'm like, well, Kat, you got to watch because he might have a point. Like legally, you might be liable if you do that. Like, but the point is, the guy never paid, and so these guys are buddy, the downstairs guy and the owner, and so now she's like in between the two of them, and I'm like, you better start looking for another apartment, but you also better start looking up the Fair Housing Act laws because she loves where she lives. It is a cute little apartment, and it's like I'm like, you need to. And here I am helping her, and I'm just like, why am I even helping, But at the same time, I'm like, my kids have to have a place to go with her when she goes places. So I'm like, well, I don't want her to lose that because then where's she going to go? And then I'm going to have to, it's like going to make more things inconvenient. And I'm like, I'd like her to stay where she's at because it benefits the kids, So anyway, she's having real life issues, and I sheltered her from that for all these years and protected her from it. And I provided for her so she could live a pretty easy life. I mean, having 6 kids is not easy, but She definitely lived in the lap of luxury. She could do whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted. If she wanted to spend a day, doing something different than having to do schooling, it was cool. If she wanted to sleep in all day, I let her do it. It's just like, why was your life so? And that's what my son, like I said, John said, it's okay, Dad. Like my son Mark, and one of the reasons why he doesn't want to talk to her, he's like, I don't get it, Mom. I watched you live the easiest life you could possibly live, and you were completely unthankful for it. And I am just so pissed off that you do this to Dad and that you do this to the kids. And so he's reconciled with her a bit, but I just, it's still a long road for them. And I yes, John.
It's still long.
Yeah.
When it's going, why?
Yeah.
Why you get the piggy heart comes out, and that means I love you.
A heart comes out. Well, guess what? My heart comes out for you, John, because I love you. You're my little matey friend.
Heart's not
So anyway, it's Mark and Ryan are they talk to her and stuff. And honestly, guys, just so you know, I have been encouraging my children to spend time with her. I'm like Seth doesn't want to go ever. He never wants to go there. He's always like, please don't make me go. And I'm like, it's your mom. As much as neither of us like the situation, you have to respect your mom. And, I'm not saying you have to do everything she tells you, but as far as like being obedient, you need to be obedient. Ta-da! We've got all 100 gold pieces just in time. We actually found them like as the story was ending. How do you like that? That was like perfect timing. So anyway, guys, I guess if there's anything I can ask you, for those of you that are praying folk, pray one, that God helps me to forgive her. Because I definitely, even though I've done some forgiving, it's not 100%. I definitely still hold things against her, because how can I not? I mean, it's a horrible situation, and I'm sad. I'm not really sad for myself anymore. Like I said, I'm at peace. My life is a little bit falling apart, but in general, I feel like I'm mostly together and a whole person, and I'm hurt, but I'm whole. But I definitely haven't completely forgiven her, and so just pray that I can forgive my wife, or ex-wife at this point, and also, for my kids, that they won't be affected by this, and that that I'll be able to raise them to be upstanding people, and that I'll be able to raise them and keep them safe from the perils of drugs and from the perils of drinking. I mean, those are the two big things. Because when they have that influence in their life, there's a small possibility, actually a decent possibility, that that's what they'll turn to.
Smoke.
That's right. You don't smoke and you don't drink, right, Mater?
Yeah.
We stick together, right, buddy?
Yeah.
Yep. So
Your family, but I'm gonna have to move on.
you're never going to do that. That's right.
It's packed.
So the first thing we're going to do is repay the loan. Ouch, I know it sucks. If we need to take it back out, we can, but I'd rather get that mostly paid down. So there we go. Loan is paid off. We can always grab it out if we need it, but it's better to have less debt, right? So we're not making a daily payment. Even though the payments aren't much, we have no debt. That's a great feeling. Second thing we're going to do, I feel like more than anything, okay, we talked about we're going to need a...
The other people were doing a dinosaur train on down.
What's up, kiddo?
Dinosaur train on here.
Dinosaur train. Dinosaur train. I don't know, honey. If you want to watch Dinosaur Train, you can.
How do I run up?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Chubba to help you, because I'm in the middle of recording here.
How was that?
Let's see here. We need a tipper to move grass around. I mean, I suppose we could just use the loading wagon. So that would save some money. We don't really have to buy a tipper. I do want to get the seating set up. Oh, okay, so things that we need. We've got our harvester. We need headers. We need a corn header, which is this guy. Does that one fold up? Which one? Does this one fold? This one works with, obviously, the New Holland. That's what it's for. But does this work with our New Holland? It doesn't say. What is this? Those 6 meters versus... This is, let's see, 4.5. Oh, this says... Okay, no, this is designed for the larger one. So this one can work with it. So we're going to get our corn header. Right? Do I need a corn header? Because I don't know that I'm going to grow corn. It doesn't seem like the market ever is good on corn. But I suppose now is the time. I mean, we could not. I'd like to get the. We'll buy them both. They're not that expensive. I mean, it's not going to break the bank to get these. So we've got those two. Okay. And then we need to buy the seating equipment for our. We're gonna do the DLC stuff.
That electric wasn't soda.
John, you are so cute. Did we buy this already?
See that? What?
Did I buy this already? Yeah, I bought this already. I do own one. Yep. So all I need this guy.
It's the master
Okay.
sword.
It's the Master Sword. Sword for the masters.
I can make it like the master sword.
Everybody was Master Swording. And we need this. And we need this. Okay, so we have our kit. Let's take a look at what we got so far. So we have the seating kit. I've already got the seater back at base. We have the two headers that we need. So really,
Easy.
let me think of what else we need. We need to have something to load the seeders and fertilizers. Oh, and we need sprayers. We can get. I'd like to try the Coon pack. So we're going to do this one and this guy. That should be fine for what we're doing. Okay, let's see how we got that stuff there. All right, good. And then I would like to make... there's a couple different ways to do this. So we can get Sammy and we can get Doots. Now I did find this guy, and I don't know if it can get the crop wheels. I'm hoping that it can. Since we're trying to keep it an all Doots farm, I'd like to...
He's so stupid.
Where's this? For light duty stuff, where did it go? There it is. Oh, this one's cheap too. It's used. Narrow tires. There we go.
This time I'm going to use
I don't think I'm going to use it for front loading because the big guy already has that. So we'll buy this guy. That's not too expensive. And then
You have to get rid of them and I have to kill them.
I would like something to leave up here at the shop for a front loader because we're going to... I'm thinking a JCB is probably the best deal, even though I hate driving the JCBs. I'm so bad with them because they're so squirrely. We're going to select this. And we can use it for other stuff if we need to, but if we have it here, we're going to have a pallet fork. This thing's just going to stay up at the shop for the most part because it'll be used to move pallets around here. Look at that. So this is going to be our sprayer. This is our fertilizer rig. Looks pretty good. This mod is not bad. I wish the paint was shiny, and I feel like the color is not the right color, but whatever. I mean, it's close. But the model's right. This is exactly what the Dutzfar 510 looks like, so it's a pretty good model. I wish it was shinier paint and the color was a little closer to the real color. So I think that does it for our needs here. But we do. What else are we going to need? We're going to need a header, 2 header trailers. I don't think I have any of these yet. So, right? No, there's no header trailers. So we're going to buy 2 of these. One's going to be red for the Hyalanthus with the white rims. And one's going to be yellow, just the stock with white rims. That's going to be for the other header, the wheat header. And that little Dutzfar can pull those around, though it really isn't supposed to with those crop wheels, but I guess it can be fine. So we got the header trailers. What else do we need? I've got a loading wagon. I don't really need a weeder because we're only playing the easy.
Dad, could you join me?
No, no, I don't want to play that game.
I can't do it.
You can't. I don't have to.
I can't fight this one stupid mean guy.
I can't fight him either. I don't even have a character.
Make one time.
Well, I'm not doing it tonight, but maybe in the next day or two I will. Okay, kid?
Pinky promise. Pinky. Can't.
All right.
You can't
How about we do it Saturday, okay?
Okay.
All right. Deal. All right, so we got those.
I can give you some of my weapons.
Your weapons? What else do we need? I don't need a windrower. I don't need. So that's. I'm sorry. There's so much stuff that I want to get, but we don't really need much more. I just need one big tractor now to handle this setup. And we can start planting some of those other grass fields because I'm only going to need those 2 fields of grass. Upon the fields of barley. So let's look through. I just want to look and see what we have. I love doing this. This is my favorite part of the game. Obviously, it's the most exciting part. It's the most wonderful part of the game. I want Dutz firearms if they have them. Do they? Dutz. There we go. 60. Awesome. We're going to trade our other arms in. Yep. And what else? Oh, this is cool. They have them all different colors. Look at that. Okay, cool. Anything else that we need? So that's... We'll go through each category. Here's what we do.
And then I can find
Nothing's for sale.
Heroes buff faces.
We do need to buy one more big tractor. This is going to take up a large amount of money.
There's people that don't even know how to fight.
Let's see, 295. Maybe we could get it with... If we push it just over 300, it should be enough horsepower. So that doesn't make it like too expensive. Because this is, what are we going from? 250. You know what? It's not that much different. Honestly, it might be better just to get the biggest motor. Anything else we can do? Wheel standard, wheel weights. We'll do wheel weights. Okay, get some good traction there. Okay, that leaves us with $306,000 for sheep. I think that's all we need. No, let's go through. I'm so bad. All right, what do we got? Nothing there. We don't need any more of that. We don't need any of this. We could always buy a truck, but I think that at this point, I don't really need this on the farm right now. Nope, we don't need any of that. We don't need it. We got all those that we needed. We're not buying the, maybe later.
You know my weapons, but I can't give you,
Give me love, love me good. Give me love. All right, sorry.
I can't give you my sucky sword.
Your sucky sword?
Yeah, I can't give you it.
You can give me your sucky sword. Thanks. I don't really think I want a sucky sword. I'd rather have a great, amazing sword. Don't need any of that. Don't need any of that. Eventually.
Give you something.
Don't need those. I
No, wait, I can,
don't need these.
I
Don't need any tethers.
I can give you an upgrade for it.
Dude, you're so good to me, Mater.
Could I give you an upgrade?
Could you give me love?
I'm going to give you an upgrade. And what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue.
Uh,
Don't need any of this.
I'm going to
Don't need any of that.
I
I don't need any of this. We might do... maybe I should do this, though. If I get, let's see, a chainsaw.
I know how to give you an upgrade.
Just buy a still, whatever.
Give me an upgrade.
No. Nope. If I cut trees, I'm just going to chop them up into bits, so I don't really need anything to process them. Though I might need I could probably get a stump grinder, because I'm going to need to grind the stumps down, so I should probably do that.
No.
Man, it's expensive. It's one sheep worth. Do we have a water? We need a water trailer. I don't think we have a water trailer. Oh, no, I do have one. Okay. We need the Lely. I'm going to go with the Dutzfar Green. It's just not right, but...
Feel icing.
Which means we're also going to have to buy...
This-
I don't need any of these. Don't need that. Don't need these. Don't need that.
People that don't know this or or bedtime. It's a time. Time. It's time.
Do I need a pickup truck? If I'm gonna cut trees down, I could throw them in the trailer though. I could throw them in the I don't. I could just throw them in a tipper. Nope. I do need a Lely charging station.
Jeffrey knows I'm here.
Jeffrey knows you're there.
No. Jeff.
So see, I told you the money goes fast. We didn't even buy a harvester or a forage harvester. It just money goes away. Gone. The Lely's going to be here to clean the sheep. We're going to put the charging station right there. That's good.
Yes, he's with me.
All right. Anything else? No vehicles. Nope. That's it. We're done. Okay. So we have enough money to buy a couple sheep. Did you say idiots?
Yeah, these people don't even know how to play this.
They don't know how to play this? These are the sheep, right? I'm at the sheep place,
Away
right?
from the stupid, ugly.
John, take it easy, kid.
Don't really mean to me.
Who's being mean to you?
These people that don't know how to play this game are being mean. There's these guys that make the.
Are you playing a multiplayer?
Yeah, I'm putting it for the people. I'm putting it
Why are you playing multiplayer? Just play single player.
No, that would be hard.
How much can we get?
Somebody's
Oh my gosh, they're so expensive.
Somebody's my one.
$289. And I want to have, let's see, that'd be 69 sheep. Wow, they're so expensive. So maybe we should take the loan back out. I hate to do it, but I think I want to get the sheep and we can pay the loan off slowly. I'd rather do that. So let's get a whole bunch of sheep and just pay interest. It was too, I knew it was too good to last. We're going to borrow it all. Tap the bank. This will get us a lot more sheep. And we'll start making money pretty quick. Whoa, we can loan $300,000? What? Awesome! Okay, so, they're really trusting people here. Sure. Of course, they're going to make a killing on the interest. Look at this fee for driving the trailer. Let's see, if we get up to, I want to have, we'll take it to $589. $28,000. That's how much the trailer costs to deliver them. So I'm not going to bother with the trailer. So $579 leaves us with $10,000. $558. That leaves us with, let's see, 10. That leaves us with about $30,000. So 133 sheep. Boom. We're going to have to feed them a lot of grass. So we have 133 sheep. We're going to have to water and feed them. Let's see here. We'll do that now, I guess. Let's see how this works. And then we'll start bringing the equipment back to the farm. I'm going to let this episode run. We may have a commercial break where this ends and it goes to another episode. Actually, this might be a good time to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I'm going to put a little clip in here at the end talking about the Twitch and Facebook channel, so we'll see you in the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this exciting purchasing and / sad story about my divorce video. Hopefully you didn't find it too down. There's a happy ending at some point, so don't be sad about it. Life will go on, and I'm doing okay. Like I said, I did just keep my kids in prayer. That's the biggest thing. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the video you just watched, you might also be interested in joining my Twitch TV channel. All you got to do is follow. If you do have a subscription, it would be great to subscribe because that way we actually get some monetary help. But following is just fine. I stream 2 to 3 times a week. The normal times we stream on Tuesday nights when Black Chicken and I go out tanking for 2X Tuesdays. And then also on Saturday mornings we do our multiplayer farm sim Goldcrest game. So both of those videos are going to be a pretty constant thing. And then also I just throw videos up whenever I play multiplayer truck sim with people or if I'm playing my rally game. But anyway, people have really been enjoying being part of those streams. So people come into the chat room and we have all kinds of good conversation going on. So make sure to be followed on my Twitch channel. It is www.twitch.tv/vblueguitar. And you can see up here, this is the spelling for the entire website. You spell V Blue Guitar, VBLUGUITAR, V Blue Guitar. The other thing that I want to tell you guys, make sure to be part of the Facebook. All you got to do is go into your search bar on Facebook and do Arthur's Gaming Channel. And then just apply, and we've let pretty much everybody in. So there's no like, oh, we don't want you to be part of the group. We let pretty much everybody in the group, as long as it's not like an advertising or a company trying to sell their products. We love our viewers to be part of this. Kyle helps me out a lot with this. B-Dog helps me out a lot with this. We have almost 400 members already, and we've only been up for about 2 months. So this community is growing fast. This is a nice place for us to chat. I usually try to come in here every day and say hi to everybody. People are always posting cool videos that come up whenever new mods come out. People are here, and they're looking at the mods, and it's a good place to get links and stuff like that. So this is a great place to be. We would love to have you as part of our community. So once again, that is Arthur's Gaming Channel on Facebook. Hope to see you guys there. Have a great night. Thumbs up always help. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you on the fields and the battlefield and the roads and the sea and all the other places that we go with the simulator game.